discussing Book of Boba Fett, Chapter 4. Here in this episode, it's mostly you see kind of more flashbacks how he specifically teamed up with Finnick, who's played by Ming Na Wen. You also see him it's kind of coming to it. Well, I guess we still have some more flashbacks left because he still has to get the armor. We don't know how he got the armor back. So out of the Sarlacc pit.
Yeah, we do. We saw that in the Mandalorian.
Oh, okay, yeah. So so the flashbacks are pretty much done. Then in this,
I think the flashbacks have more or less where the show was, and I think for my money, this is probably my favorite episode of the season because stuff actually happens. It's stuff that is actually intriguing, stuff that I've wanted. I wanted to see more. Just the adventures of Boba and Fennec Shand. I wanted to see more of Boba's reasoning for why even become a crime lord?
What's all that clicking? Who doing all that clicking? What's all that clicking? Who's like the clicking like a mouse? What's all that clicking?
Oh, sorry about that. That was that's in the background here.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I wanted to see more of Fennec Shand and Boba Fett working together, and he really see his justification for why even become a crime boss.
Yeah. Dusk.
Well, this was better than last episode. I'll give it that.
Yeah, I hated the last. I was just waiting for that entire episode to just be done, so I could just write off this show completely and just be done with it.
Yeah,
but this episode's turned me around.
This episode hasn't turned me around. Even with all his aspects and them doing a little bit better, he still doesn't act like Boba Fett. He still makes decisions. So I'm like, why would you point the ship over the Sarlacc pit? You knew you didn't. You had the armor on you. You knew you had it when you punched your way out. Even I know you were like in a daze, but like, come on, man. And just to have that scene where they destroy the Sarlacc, I could see in like Revenge, he just plumps that thing in. That was what I was expecting. And then what if you were going to do that, why not just do it first? Why take the chance? And then he goes some. This is the most Boba Fett thing he did in the entire show was he roasted those bike riders. He ghosted them. And I'm like, unfairly ghosted them. And I'm like, all right. That was a very Boba Fett thing to do. I'm cool. She even says at one point early on, he's like, being with the Tusken Raiders have made you soft. And I'm like, yeah, they actually really have. They really have. You're not the same character, and I kind of don't.
What is Boba Fett supposed to be?
To be honest, it's hard. It's hard to say, really, from my knowledge of the EC comics. I guess him just being a Daimyo in general is just kind of something I never expected. I really wanted to see, and I'm still not sure whether I really want to. And I guess from what I've seen in ECU, he's just this badass bounty hunter, and you're like, why do you care about Tatooine? Like, it's like a desert place. Why do you even care? Why wouldn't you go to Mandalore, and try to all that jazz? It just seems like this is a place, and it still clashes when he brings Fennec to those cyborg people. Like, I know it's a nice cameo for the producer Thundercat.
Yeah,
Thundercat, who actually did some music for the show.
I mean, kudos to him,
which was cool.
Nice little shout out for him, but
yeah.
Other than that, I just
I was gonna say he was not good, and not.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's a nice little thing for him, but I wouldn't say he was good. I mean, honestly, that this whole cybernetic stuff is stupid. I don't know why it's in here. Like, it's fine. They had robotic arms in Star Wars. That's fine, but always had much more of a grit and the style. It feels like, what is my cyberpunk doing in my Star Wars? Like, it should be much more gritty, much more pulled back. He shouldn't be wearing clothes that he clearly has gotten from Mos Eisley or Coruscant and other places that are high end. But it's not. This is Tatooine in the boonies in the desert. And the only cool moment I would say in this was he got the I appreciated that the Wookiee tore a guy's arm off, even though he was like being slowly like placated, and then he said "F that," and I'm like, all right, my dude, I respect that.
I choose violence,
and I'm like, I respect that. I respect it. join my crew. And he had a dinner scene where the entire table was over the grate that he could just pull a single lever and they all fall in the solid in the Rannoch pit. And I'm like, yeah. And he's just like politely, I'm like, sit. No.
Yeah,
Sit down.
that's some shit that I wanted to see from Jump.
Yeah. That was like that's some Boba stuff. That's some Boba Fett stuff. I'm like, all right, you're a hardened bounty hunter, you know what you're doing. Sit down. He actually felt like a character in that moment, at least a little bit. But it doesn't save an entire series that's been kind of where are we going?
True. I'm kind of with the first 3 episodes. I was like, okay, you've only got 7 episodes. Where is this going? Get to the fucking point already. And I feel like they're starting to with this one. It's setting up. Okay, this is Boba Fett and his new organization going to war against another syndicate.
Right.
Yeah. Which, judging by flute that we heard at the very end of the episode, somebody might be coming back, which I can't wait to see.
Yeah, I think this is the best episode so far for me. I guess that's not a high bar to jump over because I thought some of these episodes have been pretty mediocre to bad. But I think this is the best one so far. I think seeing them kind of team up, Fennec, seeing the relationship where that started, I thought was good. And when he goes to the cybernetic place, like you said, feels kind of like some cyberpunk kind of stuff, but then it gets into like, see, if Star Wars tries to make any advancement like that in Star Wars, then it's like, well, then it's not Star Wars anymore, then it's like, then it crosses over to another sci-fi. So that's why it's tough, I think, sometimes with Star Wars, because it's just so limited sometimes in stuff it can do, and then where it can expand, and then where it can't.
Yeah, but
not necessarily that.
But people think it's so limited. Like, whenever anybody tries to different with Star Wars, you get the millions of crying neckbeards online. It's like, why are you keeping this shit in Star Wars?
When it's specifically talking about the cybernetic stuff, I only ask that it be somewhat in line for what we've seen. Just in that term. I'm not against it. If this was in Coruscant, I would have no problem with their aesthetic, because they fit the aesthetic of that planet.
Oh, okay.
I'm just wondering, why are you having like a cyberpunk theme on Tatooine? You're on a junk planet. Like, what? How can you afford to do this kind of a business? That kind of a job for that amount of coin to do what they had to do? That doesn't make logistical sense. Do you see what I'm kind of saying here?
I mean,
not that I'm against the style. It's clashing.
I think that's kind of a weird nitpick, because I mean, we don't know anything about really about this financial of this planet. I mean, it's just, Tatooine has just been this planet we just know it's got sand on it, and then people go here, and then there's crime here, and then people leave and then go somewhere else. I mean, this is the longest we've ever really spent on this planet, exploring this planet and the themes. Like, to go back to the last episode with episode 3, where I complained about the bikes, where I said, like, okay, well, you got these nice ass bikes, and it says, like, but we don't have any work, and it's like, well, if you stop spending money on these damn bikes and stop, maybe you could leave off planet and go somewhere. So that was kind of the weird thing I had about that. And the shiny bikes, it's like, this doesn't fit with a lot of the aesthetic going on in the world of this planet, because everything's kind of dirty and dingy. But he goes to that place with Jennifer Beal, that hangout spot, the bar, and that's a fancy looking place. It looks like it's very much well upkept and everything like that. And there's Max Rebo's there, still playing the same song for hundreds of years. He's still playing the same song. So I think it's just different kind of places and things in this city. I think I don't know. I mean, what do you think about that though?
I don't have an issue with like clashing aesthetics. That's kind of always been a thing in Star Wars. It's like, why is Star Wars has kind of always been its own weird thing, and blending of like different sci-fi elements in different cultures. That's kind of always been what Star Wars has done.
Yeah. Dustin.
I guess I would just hope it was more cohesive. To me, it just feels like set pieces that they have, and it doesn't quite feel like it's gelling with the rest of the environment. Again, I'll admit that is somewhat of a nitpick, but it's just something I have to bring up because you guys asked me my opinion. That's what I'm giving.
Okay. Yeah.
Otherwise, yes. Of the episodes I've seen, this one is arguably the best because things actually happen. The character is proactive. He did stuff. He didn't just sit around on his throne with his gut doing nothing. And that armor that is clearly like he's that space girdle that he's got on, and he's just like,
He's rocking the dad bod.
I'm not gonna lie, but in combat, it's gonna be kind of a hindrance. But sure, I mean, he hasn't gotten time to get in super shape. I know them gains; it's hard, but
he's in the bulking phase right
yeah,
now. Cut is coming.
It's coming. It's coming. at, at, at least this is showing something.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll give it that. Is it what I necessarily was hoping to see when they mentioned a Boba Fett show? No, but I mean, I'm gonna ride it out. I still think cohesively, it probably should have just released all at once so we could just binge it and be done. And just so I could know where the hell this is going in the first place. Because even though they're gonna have an all-out war with the budget they've shown, I don't think it's gonna be that great. But I might be wrong.
They could be saving the budget at least for
True.
like the big final conflict.
True.
I like the mix they do kind of with a lot of stuff they do with the practical and CGI, like a lot with the animals, the creatures. I think it's pretty nice. This episode, he was riding a what do you call that creature?
He was riding a
Bantha, and it looked really good. It looked like this good mix of like this practical kind of effect with the Bantha, and when he was riding it, which was really nice. And so I like that stuff in Star Wars. I like that stuff. That feels it makes it, I think, feel more in world when you.
That makes it more unique. Is the mix of puppetry along with other practical effects.
Yeah. So I thought that was really nice. And to see Black Chrysanthemum still hanging around, I mean, just hanging around, just getting drinks, I guess, you know what I mean? Just seemed like, I don't know, he would have left or worried about that Boba Fett maybe.
I mean, he got paid.
Yeah, but I'm just saying maybe he would have been worried about maybe Boba Fett changing his mind and going like, you know what, maybe I'll kill you instead. I mean, you did try to kill me, but...
I mean, arguably, based on the timeline, that's another problem I have with the show because of the back and forth. We arguably don't even know how long it's been between episodes. Has it been a couple of days? Has it been a couple of weeks? All we know, last episode, he let him go a day ago, and he's just waiting for his ship to take him, so he's just going to drink.
True.
With the money he's got from the job.
Yeah. And then he was just seeing people have fun, and then just
like, fuck you.
Yeah, just lost it.
It brought back horror. It brought back horror memories for his time spending in that pit.
Yeah. I'm Black Chrysanthemum, now that, again, like, that's what we see. We see Boba Fett building a team, getting a team together. So he's got the Lollipop Guild, he's got the teenagers there. He's got Ming-Na Wen, he's got the 2 guards, he's got now the Black Chrysanthemum. So it's like he's assembling his team of people that's going to help him fight this gang war.
And now he's got the backing of the other crime syndicates on Tatooine as well.
Yeah.
Or does he?
Exactly. And it feels like what's being played out in the show is what should have been in the writer's room, with they're like doing all the kind of like, okay, well, should we keep this in here? No, let's get this out. It feels like it's being played out live of all the mistakes and things that we see are just all kind of throughout the show. And I hope that makes kind of sense, given that it's just like we're seeing kind of everything they're just throwing out there and just putting into it, and it just doesn't feel as strong. I think like the flashback stuff, like we mentioned before, it's like it's kind of like 2 shows. It's like, okay, we want to show him how he got to be where he is now, but then also we're going to focus on the new story, him being a crime lord. It just feels like 2 different things, and it doesn't mix all that well. And yeah, I mean, with that stuff with Black Chrysanthemum, I mean, I'm happy to see him rip some more people's arms off and do some shit, because I was, excited for him to come in, because he comes in cool. He comes in growling. I'm like, oh, this is going to be badass, man. It's going to be awesome. But it's just like, yeah, I mean, he just kind of went out like a wet noodle, bear hugging Boba Fett and then getting beat by the Scooby-Doo gang. And I'm like, okay. And then fall into the pit. So, and yeah, I mean, I think again, this is building and building. I mean, I'm eager to see him riding the Rancor because going to ride the Rancor, mess up some stuff there, doing that. And I liked him sitting down with the meeting with all the other crime lords, and now he's got his own Rancor. It's like what I mean. I thought that was kind of a cool moment there. And when he was blasting the bikers that killed the Tusken Raiders, I thought that was kind of good. I thought that was kind of good. What kind of your guys thinking?
That's definitely the best scene in the whole. It's the most Boba Fett has acted like the Boba that we've known in the original trilogy, in stuff like the comics that have come out with him, and it's finally good to see that this show finally has momentum. And for the first time since the premiere, I'm actually looking forward to next week's episode.
Okay. Dust?
I said everything that I enjoyed. I put stuff that I think it still needs to work on. It needs to get to its point. It needs to get to why we're here really soon. It should have done 3 episodes ago. But hey, better late than never. I'm not excited for this show anymore. That's long since passed. I'm just waiting to see whether or not it's going to keep its momentum going, or it's going to end on a sour note.
So you just kind of,
I'm just riding it out.
Do you think it can really turn you around, like the last few episodes? It can just really just knock your socks
It would
off?
have to do quite a lot. I mean, it would have to do a whole lot, and I don't have the hope in the Writers Guild, in the writers' room, for that to have already happened.
Yeah.
At best, it'll probably end on it was all right. If we can just get there, I'll be all right. Well, at least it was okay.
Yeah, I at this point, I'm just hoping for, you know what, that was pretty good. Am I ever gonna watch it again or like be excited for another Star Wars thing except for Mandalorian? Probably not.
So you're not gonna be excited for Ahsoka or Obi-Wan or.
If this is what they've done to Boba Fett, I'd have no trust of whatever they do after this.
Depends what I see when like trailers and clips start dropping for both of those shows.
Okay. Because how many other shows is there? There's Obi-Wan, there's Ahsoka. What's the other one? Is there another one?
I mean, there was going to be Rangers of the Republic, which, Gina Carano fumbled the bag.
Oh, and that, what's his name? The character from Rogue One.
Paul Sun-Young Lee, who was also up in Kim's Convenience. He's one of the leads in that show.
Okay.
You're talking about the
what's his name? Damn.
the Luna.
Yeah. That character.
Oh, Diego.
Luna.
Oh, right,
Diego
Cassian
Luna.
Andor.
Yeah,
He's going to do
that
Cassian
show
Andor
also.
soon. I mean, he was such an amazing character, that Cassian Andor. Really, just a phenomenal character, that Cassian Andor, that everyone remembers from Rogue One. Clearly.
Yeah, and you have the screenwriter coming back, the screenwriter of Rogue One coming back for that. So I'm more excited for that show than it.
I was being sarcastic, but okay.
Yeah.
Hey, I loved Rogue One. That's my favorite Star Wars movie, and I really liked the character of Diego Luna.
Yeah,
Okay.
you didn't like Rogue One? I liked Rogue One.
I didn't hate
Also,
Rogue
yeah-
One. I'm
and
just
also
saying
you have-
Diego Luna wasn't like an amazing character.
I thought he was pretty good. I thought he was fine.
Hey, you got Diego Luna and Alan Tudyk back in.
Yeah. I thought he was fine. I like the whole spy element there, everything like that. So maybe,
No, he is the most interesting aspect of that movie, and it's a shame that we follow a boring character instead of him. I would have been totally cool with a rebel who has had to do some really dirty crap, and he's had to be put on this only solo run into it. It's like a suicide run in order for this to get going.
No.
Like, I'm totally cool with that, but that's not what happened.
We'll see.
Looking at the cast for Kenobi, Ewan McGregor and Hayden Christensen back. You have Joel Edgerton, Rupert Friend, Benny Safdie, Kumail Nanjiani. I'm more excited for that. Looking at the cast involved with it.
Yeah, I mean Kenobi's my favorite Star Wars character, so I'm excited for Kenobi. Ahsoka, excited to see what they do there. And then plus Admiral Thrawn is going to be in the Ahsoka series, so I'm excited to see what they do there with Admiral Thrawn. Who's going to be playing Admiral Thrawn? Because I saw Admiral Thrawn, even though I haven't read the EU books with him in it, I watched Rebels with him, and I thought he was a really good character in Rebels. I
He's
wonder
one
if
of the most famous.
we say.
He's one of the most famous, one of the most popular extended universe characters, Admiral Thrawn.
Yes, yeah, very very famous, very popular EU character. And then, is Darth Maul supposed to be in the Obi-Wan series? I feel like he's supposed
He's not. He's not in the cast list. I feel like he should be, but we already saw that character die in Star Wars Rebels.
But, yeah, I guess it was where the timeline is. Yeah, because in the Rebel show, Obi-Wan kills him there. Yes, I guess it's where they're putting this timeline wise of the show.